Well, it says I'm live. I just wanted to be sure I was actually live before I started talking. I've come to learn and find things out. So, okay, I'm actually live. I've got a little bit of business to do. Welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I am Nikki. It's been quite some time since I have been doing a live broadcast. As per usual, since I am on my own, it is only me, so I need to do a little bit of business here. Okay, just a little bit just to get all this taken care of. Let's see here. It's interesting, nothing's coming up showing that I'm live yet. Huh. Fascinating. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see here. Yes, I'm actually live. Good. Okay. Now, this comes to chat. Share. Okay, that's what I'm after, is sharing. Okay. Let's see. Hello to the one watching for right now. I hope others are able to come and follow. What is going on with this silly? Oh, there we go. Okay, edit. Hi. Here's the link, like I said I would have it. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we are. Let's save that. Hello. There's going to be a number of topics tonight. Everything from, of course, ETs, all the way over to psychic visions. I had a hell of a psychic vision with a download this evening that about did me in. So I'll be talking about that because it was quite the subject piece. I had a number of questions because I was asking different people that have information as to how to deal with these things. So, because I didn't have the psychic information that I'm used to having, and this, there we go. Now I think I'm done with all the info. Anyway, oh, hello. Hi. Welcome. Okay, let me double check to be sure I've got this on. Chat filters and all. Okay, there we go. Hello. So for those that are going to stick around, this is going to be an interesting topic. Some can't handle the subjects that I talk about, and a lot of people can. So those that can, stick around. Those that can, adios. The subject matters. Extraterrestrials, paranormal, psychic visions, psychic information, secret space program, my lab abductions. So those are the topics at hand tonight. I do know I do know that there are quite a few of us out there that do not talk about our experiences for safety's sake. There's damn good reason why people don't talk about these subjects. And it's dangerous real fast. As I found out in 2019, you get targeted by the government because they don't want you talking about these subjects. So grab a cuppa of whatever you want, come in, sit down. Hey, Drew. Come in, sit down, Listen, ask questions. That is one thing that I always ask questions, but be respectful. That is something very important to me, is that you are respectful to everybody, including me. If you're going to be a troll, I'm going to boot you. I don't typically like booting people, but I will if I have to. So those are the subject matters. I am a lifelong ET abductee, and I've had all kinds of experiences. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Drew. Hello, Lady Oz, as in Australia, possibly. And JAH. Hello, everybody. And hello to the 43 who are showing up. Anyway, I'm a lifelong ET abductee, have been all my life. I remember Ozzy. I was wondering. I've got a lot of Australian friends, so you are, everybody across the globe is welcome here. So, hey Drew, I don't even know where to begin tonight. Hey Sunshine, it's been a while. Let's see, so where do I start? Okay, so I remember being abducted at 4 years old. Hello, Sylvia. It's nice to meet you. I've been consistently told that I've been with ETs even while my mother was pregnant with me, and that she was an ET abductee. And I used to say, well, that's bullshit, because I don't remember any of it until a few years ago. And then I remembered a blocked memory, and it was blocked because I was very traumatized. My mom and I were ET abducted right off of I-5. And if you know, I'm in Washington State, and if you know I-5 runs north and south. And so there's that bit of fun. Hello, C Baking. Hello, Kingston. Hello, Dreddy. Joshua. Hey, Para. Yeah, definitely. Please. He says, hey, folks, don't forget to hit the like button when you can. It helps the show. Yeah, it does. I said, oh, thank you. Most appreciated. Thank you. So that's kind of a rundown of me. I'm ET abducted. I'm supposed to be taken not very long from now, according. Okay, I'll take a look. I've not been the greatest at responding to my Facebook messages, Sunshine, for a number of reasons. You're at 200 subs. Oh, thank you. I did not know that. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So if you are an ET abductee, just know you're not alone. Please know you are not alone. Being an ET abductee is a hell of a process. A lifelong process, whether you are taken once or your entire lifetime. What do I do? What do you mean, what do I do, Chip? And hello, Chip. It's nice to meet you. I openly talk about my experiences, whether anybody likes it or not. I talk about it because it's important for others to know that you're not alone. It can be terrifying. What do I do for my channel? I talk about my experiences. I talk about these kind of situations. I deal with all of the subject as much as I possibly can. I'm not somebody who knows absolutely everything. I know my experiences, and that's what I talk on. People ask me my opinion based on my experiences. That's fine. Hello, Peter. Peter Anthony Fernandez. Let's say your friends make fun of you, bully you. What is the best advice of motivation should be him or her facing this. Hello, Driven World. It's nice to see you here. Welcome, come on in. Peter, if somebody's being if you're an ET abductee and you're being bullied, there's a number of, you're referring to alien abductions, extraterrestrial, yes. I do not say alien very often because on Earth, alien can be political, shall we say, and can be something completely different. So I either use the term off-worlder or I use the term extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial or ET is usually the term that I use because of this subject. Yeah, Paranormal and ET Experiences by Nikki. That's quite an understatement. I am 57. Kingston, you asked how old are you? I'm 57. Chip is saying my girlfriend's dad said he was an experiencer when he was young, had an experience when he was younger. You're 13. This is probably not the one that you should be watching, dear. If you're that young, I would highly recommend you be watching this with an adult, at least somebody who is 18, 19 years old, 20, or older, or a parent or guardian or somebody, because there are so many things to this. One of the things is you've got to be very careful. If you truly are that young, you've got to be very, very careful, because your peers can be vicious about this subject. And it can last with you through high school, into college, with family. It can cause a lot of problems, including to the point to where psychology could be involved. Counselors can get involved. I've known some very serious situations because of that. So this is why I highly recommend you have an adult with you. If you're going to actually, there is a group for millennials and youngers that I know, and younger folks that I know about, that if you want to be involved in that, they are going to require you to have a parent or guardian permission. So message me and I will send you the proper information, and that's very, I'm very protective of folks that are under 18. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. And because of the way psychology is and psychiatry is, most folks that are of a younger age can be classified as schizophrenic. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues that go with this. You've got to be very, very careful. DC, hello, that's okay. It's good to learn to stand up to bullies at a young age. Yes, it is. But at the same time, this is a subject that, look, I had a grandmother who, when I was 6 years old, was telling me, shh, Nicole, we don't talk about these things because they'll put us in the crazy house. I've had friends who in counseling mentioned things of this nature, and it got very serious very quickly. There are very few professionals who will, very few professionals who will actually have a conversation about this. Otherwise, they will believe that you've got some kind of mental defect and that there are some very serious problems going on. So this is not, these are adult topics. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I don't know what to tell teens. I know how to deal with adults with this because this is a big subject. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject, DC. That's a subject I will not get into here because it's gonna go real fast. But as an experiencer, what I ended up having to do, and this is what I did for my own personal sake, I stayed quiet. Part of that was because of, okay, now that has got to go. Nope, that's going away. Didn't know I could do that from this device, so that's good. Now that I get a breather for a second, because that is very disruptive. As an experiencer, when you have experiences of that nature, you either talk about it or you learn very quickly to keep your mouth shut. And for me, as time went on, I just didn't talk about it. I didn't. Okay. Just a second. I'm not dealing with that behavior. That needs to go, and I will report your ass, so back off. Hello. Hello, Dakin. Anyway, so as experiencers go, it's a choice. It's a choice that you make. Now you just got to breathe it out and just like, because that kind of stuff is toxic, and it's like that's a form of cyberbullying I will not put up with. Hello, Christian. Nice to see you. Come on in. Okay, so E.T. abducted. I remember from 4 years old. Okay. There we go. Come on. Oh, choose one. Okay. There we go. All right. Hello, Big Sky. Hello, Para. Unfortunately, hey, Para. I might just make you a mod tonight. Matter of fact, I think I will. No, you already are. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, Para. Okay, so Para is asking, what made you decide? What made you decide to come forward and start talking about your experiences when you probably expected to be harassed? It's a great question. What got me to come forward? I was consistently told by over 20 people. There we go. Pop the knuckles, that's better. To start talking, to create my own channel, and to come forward and to let people know, because the amount of things that I'd been through in my life, according to those more than 20 people, would be an inspiration to others that you can come through shit and I've been through a great deal of it. I've had over 30 people in my life die. I'm a psychic medium. Have been all my life since young childhood. Okay, Parrot, how do we keep him, her, whoever this is, off? Okay. There we go. So, you have to take it day by day. If you choose to come out publicly, and deal with this, be expecting a lot of this crap, such as whoever this asshole is, who keeps being a bully. That's the kind of stuff you're going to have coming at you, and coming at you a lot. You're also going to have, if you start making comments in Facebook or Instagram or any of the other platforms, you will end up having a lot of problems. Okay. So what ends up taking place is you find out real fast who your friends are. You find out what's it worth to you. For me, it's helping others who are abductees get through this shit. There's not a lot of counselors who specialize in this. There's not a lot of, because it is stressful, it creates this whole subject of being ET abducted, of MyLabs, of SSP, all the paranormal stuff that goes with it. It is hard to deal with. And when you're an ET abductee, depending upon what kind of ET abduct, hey, Flat Six, oh my God, I haven't seen you in here for a long time. It's good to see you, my dear. When you start seeing ETs in front of you, off-worlders, hey, Lex, come on in. It really, it's hard to accept. Hi, truth seekers. This is interesting. It's great seeing you folks. It's been a while. I haven't been able to be on in quite some time. I've been dealing with my own health stuff. So, and I got, is this a Christian channel? No, but yet I'm a Christian. I'm an ET abductee and I'm a Christian. So what do you want to talk about, Jimmy? You know, and welcome to my channel. We're talking ET abductions, we're talking paranormal, we're talking MyLabs, military, laboratory abductions, SSP, the secret space program. Right now, I'm just trying to catch folks up to date a little bit here and there. And Paramarv had asked a question about how did, what was it? What made me decide to come forward? I have memories that are not from, hello, Carlos. Can we see your toes? No. Not this time around. Anyway, God, that caught me off guard. I didn't expect something like that. Expected all the other stuff. That I didn't expect. Anyway, hello, Retro. Childless, single, liberal woman. I come across as a child. Well, honey, let's put it this way. I've got one biological human child and I've got over 30 hybrid children. How's that? We need toes, ATM. Oh my God. No, you're not seeing my toes. Haven't. Okay, I don't do nail polish because nail polish does not stay on my fingernails or my toenails for more than an hour. Living it up at Hotel California right on. You have to prove it. No, I'm not. This is as close as you're gonna get to fingernails or toenails. That's it. Anyway, Uday, hi, welcome. Thank you for that, Lex. I appreciate that. Hold the phone. You have 30 hybrid. Yeah, I do. I have, oh God, I've lost fucking track. 30, 31, 32. Yeah. It's a bit of a trip and a half for me to even say that I've got 30 hybrid children. It boggles even my mind. I have been used as a surrogate mother. It's been a bit of a mind bender. How often do I see? You mean how often do I see my children? Not very often. Sometimes, so they're all adults. Certain races of ET grow faster than humans do. And so now hold on to your hats on this one. Hold on, pull up your socks because this is, or bootstraps. That's what I was trying to say. Pull up your bootstraps because this one's going to be a hard one to handle hearing. Okay, so it was a hell of a hard thing for me to wrap my head around. So there are some ETs that once they are born, hey Teresa, I am 57. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my chat. It's really hard to grasp, but when I made the realization and started asking questions as to how come that toddler that I saw 2 months ago is now an adult or in an adult body. I don't understand. Well, Nikki, that's when you have, thank you for having us, Nikki. Yeah, I'm thank you for coming in and being respectful in the chat. I appreciate that immensely. So when you have that many kids and they had me pregnant at 13 years old. They took my firstborn when I was 14. Makes you age in reverse. Yeah. Stress will make you age too. I've got pretty good genetics regarding the skin and different things of that nature, and I learned in my early 30s to take flaxseed oil, and which, God, I hate that stuff, but it does phenomenal on the intestines. So when I was 52, I had so just off the subject for a second, when I was 52, I had a colonoscopy, and 2 doctors, 3 nurses, and 1 anesthesiologist, and I can't remember what the other person was at this second. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, they all told me that I, at 52 years old, had a better colon than some 30-year-olds that they had doing colonoscopies. Now, the only way that I know that that can happen is via the different things that I ingest. We're talking flaxseed oil, we're talking omega-369 oils, you're talking, gosh, just a bunch of different things that I can't think of off the top of my head at this second. But that's a big deal, because if you take care of your intestines and your stomach lining, you will take care of the rest of your body. On top of it, I didn't use toxic things on my skin. And our skin, and hello, as you can see, I'm a morbidly obese woman. I don't have an issue in saying that. And our skin is our largest organ. So that's something that I've always worked on and made sure that what I put on my skin is as organic as possible. Now, of course, that you've got makeup and things like that, different subject. So let's see, I'm trying to see if I, so your cousin lives in Seattle. Cool. Okay, no, I haven't missed it. I just wanted to be sure that I haven't. Where did I get, okay, DC, see, I did miss one. Where did you give birth? Okay, so here is a very good point with ET abductions and when you are a surrogate. When you are a surrogate mother. As a female, you're the surrogate mother, or your eggs are taken from you. Or you're in one of the programs, one of the hybridization programs where they actually do give birth. I've never given birth to a hybrid, okay? They take the babies, they take the infants. And so by the time I was 13, and they had me pregnant at 13, and back then they were 5-month pregnancies, okay? So I want to be sure that I answer this question before I move on to any other questions in here. So they took the infant right after I turned 14 years old, okay? By the time I had my human son in 1992, I couldn't understand why I was terrified that my infant, human infant, would be, quote unquote, stolen out of my arms. I now understand why. Because every time there's a process in the ET abductions and in women, specifically with women, when they are a surrogate for a hybrid infant. After a certain amount of time, they remove the infant. Then they incubate that infant on board their ship, incubate it, they call it, it's a gestational container. That's what they call it. That's what the ETs call it. At least the ones that deal with the hybridization programs. Then they re-abduct the mother, the surrogate mother, because they're using your genetics. So you are that infant's mother, period. All of their genetics, remember this, all of their genetics flow through, just like a human pregnancy. All of their genetics, just like a human pregnancy, flow through the mother's body, through the brain, the whole everything. And just as an FYI, many women may not register that they're being abducted, that they're in this, and that usually you have a soul contract to do this. Now, some people are going to call bullshit on that. I have found out otherwise. That's a very real thing. I've got numerous lifetimes of soul contracts doing this. Oh, that was a hard one for me in this lifetime to accept. I still have a hard time with that one. But I've accepted it as it is. To me, it is fact, because it's fact in my life. Unfortunately, I cannot prove it to any human. Being able to prove this stuff is very important to me. I am not able the only way that I can prove is via pictures, via scars that I've had, like this little, I don't know if you're gonna be able, I've shown this so many damn times, this little square right here, and you can't tell that it's a square anymore, but it's a little brown patch, and they literally took a skin sample from me because they were, piss me off. So, I'm getting sidetracked. The point is that when the mother is reabducted and they are ready to birth the infant from that gestational container, they then bring the mother and infant together in what is classified by them as a circadian rhythm bonding chair. There's a specific kind of chair. It requires the mother and the infant to be butt-ass naked. The infant is placed over the heart of the mother, and there is a specific bond between mother and infant. And then the infant is removed from the mother. Now, this is done within minutes, and the mother is left crying a lot of times because you want to be able to hold your infant longer. So when I had my human son, this is what was happening. I had already had numerous hybrid children. Okay. So by the time that my human son came around and I gave birth to him, I had a C-section, but I gave birth to him. Different ballgame. I had this incredible fear. Not good. Not good to have incredible fear when you're giving birth, because all of that are hormones that go into and through the baby and through the mother. Really not good. So there's your answer, DC. I hope it helps explain some things for you. Let me see. What else have I missed? Nikki in Seattle. I'm outside of Seattle. Thank God there's a mod. Yeah, I appreciate that too. I've got a couple of mods, and sometimes it's and I don't know where my other one is right now, but well, there's a couple of them. Anyway, it's the Emerald City. Yeah, it can be the Emerald City sometimes. Go some time into she's Drew, do not give out my location, buddy boy. We'll go rounds, babe. Just flying in, if you have a window seat, you'll be amazed. Yeah, very true. Cloudy all the time in Seattle. That's not true, although I do have to say the last 3 days it has been. Seattle is gross nowadays. Yeah, downtown is not the greatest in certain areas, driving up and down I-5 or anything like that. But there are places, there are beautiful places in Seattle, so it's not all bad. Trust me on that. It's from Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, okay. I live in Sacramento, like Deb from Sac. Oh, yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, I would like to take Relentless Sunshine any day of the week. Okay, let's see. So, noons. Okay, let's see. We have 0. Okay. Oh, Murph Monster. Why did you have to specify that your child is human? What's the alternative? You're newbie. Okay. Mick Murph Monster. I am an ET abductee, and I've got more than 30 hybrid children. Not crazy, very real. Although you don't typically hear women talk about that many hybrid children, but I do have them. So that's where that's coming from. That's why I was talking about that. Depends on your viewpoint, and I don't know how to pronounce your first name. Prithvi? In answer to that question, that's as best as you're going to get with that from me on that question. Did your human son ever meet the hybrids? To my knowledge, no, he hasn't, and he doesn't like the hybrids. Just there for the fourth family. Great question, McMurph. They are asking, what are the hybrids mixed with? Okay, so obviously my human genetics from my eggs and the sperm, because I don't know what else to call it. I mean, hello, it's their genetic material. So I've had grays. I've had certain kind of grays. I've had hybrid grays children. I've had Arcturian. They're blue. Well, okay. So the Arcturians can be, I've seen them blue, I've seen them green, I've seen them Caucasian, and they're very human looking, but some Arcturians, some versions of Arcturians, because it's like different subsections, because you get different genetics mixed in, if that makes sense. And so just like the grays have different types, and there are a lot of grays up there, a lot. I know folks that say there's more than 15 different kinds, and I'm like, oh, from what I've seen, there's more than that, because they intermix with other races of ET, from what I have personally witnessed. That's a whole nother subject. What was the original question? What are the hybrids mixed with? So I have seen, gotta be careful with it. Lyran mixed with human. I've seen Laborian mixed with human. I've seen, oh gosh, did I say Lyran already? Yeah, I did. There's 3 others, and I can't think of what they are at this second. My mind just literally went. I can actually picture them, but I can't think of the freaking ET. Oh well. Anyway, so there's a number of different mixes of hybrids mixed with human that are my kids. Some of them are in sciences. Some of them are absolutely not. Some of them I see on board ship. Others I haven't seen since I had them. So being an ET abductee, there's a lot to it. I call this a process. Okay, let's see. Hi, Twin Otter. What are hybrid? Hybrids are a form of human mixed with other ET races, extraterrestrial races. McMurph Monster, do you have relationships with the hybrids, or were they taken by the ETs? Okay, so they are raised by the hybrids, the hybrid infants. Each infant has their own nursemaid until they are an adult or in an adult looking body. That would be 1 to 2 months. In that time, they are trained very specifically because many of these ET hybrid children are exceptionally gifted. So gifted that things that I have seen, I don't even know how to explain what I've seen. The things that I have seen, these infants, these toddlers, and these children that look like they're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and then the ones that look like they're adults, but they're still because the hybrids grow so quickly, we're talking very fast, abnormally, what we humans would say abnormally fast. It is very mind-bending, and that's what I was going to talk about earlier, was that their growth rate is just mind-bending. It's absolutely extraordinary. So where we take 18 years to grow up, or 16 years before we even remotely start looking like we're an adult, and yet at 18 we're classified as an adult. And so with them, they can be anywhere from 1 to 3 months, or even 1 to 4 months, and look like an adult. Okay? And in that time, the nursemaid that is with them goes with them and not only teaches them, but helps them eat, helps them learn to manage body pain, because at that kind of a growth rate, and they've already got extraterrestrial abilities, okay? We are talking my last infant did something when I was pregnant with him that none of my other infants had ever done. And it was because we were literally under attack. We were being hit with a microwave type weapon, and this infant did something to protect himself from it. And he wanted to do something to protect me. I reached out telepathically, because if you are an ET abductee, you can reach out telepathically to those who take you. Not only is it telepathic communication, but you can also have, because you've got an implant somewhere in your body, they're going to register that. And if you reach out for help and say, hey, I'm in trouble, and I'm like, this is life-threatening, they'll come. Mine showed up 4 hours after the fact, and then stood. It pissed me off. The two of them, 7 feet tall, skinny grays. What I call them the tall whites, because I don't know what else to call them. They're not the tall whites, but because the tall whites, everybody says, oh, they've got the long blonde hair, and they're tall and skinny, and they look like this and that. No, these guys are. They've got the gray body, the gray head, smaller of a head than a regular gray. And I'm being targeted right now. I'm feeling it. Oh, fuck you. That's always fun. Sorry, guys. So basically, they showed up, and I was standing at my kitchen sink washing my hands, and they're like, well, you're not in an emergency now. And I'm like, soap dripping from my hands. I turned around, and it was probably a good thing. I was in mama bear mode at that time. It was probably a damn good thing I couldn't do what I wanted to do to them. I wanted to slap his mouth really badly. I was really pissed off. I'm like, You check this kid. You check my baby. You make sure that we are okay, medically okay. Because what was done to us, no, we know what was done to you. Well, then check us out. I want to be sure that we're okay and that this kid is okay. And they did, and they were horrified by what a bunch of other things. But anyway, was not happy with them. Turn around and say that to me. I was like, are you kidding me? After what I just went through, what this baby just went through, we were trying to save our lives. Are you kidding me? So yeah, you've got to be very, very careful as an abductee talking about these things. And really now, there's a woman I know, Misha Johnston, wonderful lady. She's been in ufology for over 30 years. And she is talking about what is now, she and another woman, I don't remember exactly how all this started. You'd have to go and listen to her talk on one of the shows or one of the interviews, because she does talk about this. Government is calling it Project Oblivion, and they're going after, because we are making sense. People are starting to listen to abductees and what is happening and what we are witnessing, and they don't want that happening. And so they're going to be starting to, according to the information that Misha and this other woman were able to obtain, they're heavily targeting. And that's a big deal. You've got to be very, very careful. Here, out of context. Okay. I hope I answered some of your questions. DC, why does your human son not like the hybrids if he has not met them? It's about seeing is believing. It's about kind of like not on my watch type of thing. Okay, thank you, Para, for answering that half human, half alien DNA hybrid. Move to the USA. Don't understand it as much as Drew. I don't understand it as much as Nikki, but I do understand the concept. Okay. Repeat the species names again. Oh gosh. Okay. Arcturian, Arcturian. I always have to think about that for the last part of that. And then we've got the Greys, Greys. Then you've got Lyran, Lyran, I think. It's been a while. I can do. Loborian, Loborian. There's Lemurian in there, but I didn't think any of the Lemurians were left alive. I thought they had all been annihilated. Could be wrong on that. Amy would know that one. Friend of mine, Amy, would remember that. Who else did I say? I don't remember all the ones that I said already. ET stand for extraterrestrial. You don't do it with aliens. Well, okay, so Twin Otter, how do you do it with aliens? I don't. I'm in, excuse me, I'm in one of the hybridization programs where they implant a fertilized egg, and if it attaches to the womb, excuse me, just a minute. If it attaches to the womb, then and it stays, you end up becoming pregnant. I've had 3 miscarriages of hybrids before, and that's always not so fun. There are hybridization programs. There is a program. That's what I'm trying to say. There is a hybridization program where the women choose their respective partner, sexual partner, and then consummate their relations, and those pregnancies go to full term. The female carries on Earth, carries the infants to whatever that ET species is, to full term. That could be a 6-month pregnancy, could be a 5-month pregnancy. Depends on the, ET. Sorry, folks. And so I'm not in one of those. I'm not in one of those programs, but I do know somebody who is. I don't know them personally, but I know them from what they talk about, and I know that they're telling the truth by a number of factors that they talk about. So there's that. Truth seeker aliens just means foreigners to Earth. Right on. Different ways they can inseminate you. Yeah, there really are a lot of different ways they can do the insemination. Yeah, some of the grays aren't so nice, Drew. I agree. Some are, but some are not. Yeah, my human son lives with me. So, but I don't get to see. Supposedly, I'm supposed to see one of my kids this next time I'm abducted. I can feel it. I can feel them on board the ship. I can feel. How do I say this? I can feel their energy. And he's one of the very few that remains in contact with me and is allowed to remain in contact with me, because not a lot of the hybrid children are allowed to be in contact with their mothers. Why, I can only make guesses on. Truth seeker question: how did your parents respond back when they? My parents didn't know. That's a really good question, Truth seeker. I truly, that's excellent question. Nobody knew. So I have what's called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I was born in 1968. They didn't talk about PCOS back then. They didn't talk about, in the 1970s and early 80s, they did not talk about this at all. And so we just thought I was having very severe female problems. That's how it was worded. So I graduated in 87. And by then I'd had a number of hybrid kids, but there are things that can, like a lot of times, a lot of months, how do I say this? I don't remember how I said it last time. There was a way I worded this last time on one of my lives, and basically the nurses knew me very well when it was that time of the month, because things were very difficult. and I was in the nurse's office a lot as a young teenager. So, hello, Florian. I've heard about... I don't even know what that is. I've heard about... are you referring to SSP, Florian? DC is Zenu Agray. I don't honestly know. Okay, here's one thing that I am better with being able to describe what I see as an ET than know the type of ET. Does that make sense? So there are people that I know that can give you chapter and verse as to what ETs are called what their official names are for their species, their race, all of that. I'm not one of those. I can tell you what I've seen. It sucks. But it's because I've too much information. So I can tell you my past lifetimes. I can tell you that the tall gray that I know is 7 feet tall. I know my measurements really freaking well. So most of them have male energy. Not all of them do, but most of them have male energy. The ones that I know that are 7 feet tall that look like a gray. Their skin is so pale, pasty, that it looks like it's white. But when you get like up close, I mean like okay, I'm glad I brought my tape measure. That is inches, that's centimeters. So when you get up to 2 inches in front, and you're looking at them, and I have, because when I was 4 years old, because I was an active kid, they literally made me sit and grab a hold of an ET's leg and sit my ass on the floor because I was a hyperactive little kid and I wanted to go and do. And so that's how I learned about how they do the splicing and dicing of the genetic material, and making it compatible with each other. I mean, the sciences that they've got. So I got to see all of that because I wouldn't shut the fuck. And so they had me sitting on my ass, and my legs were cross-legged, and in between my legs was an ET foot and a leg in front of my face. And I got to see up close and personal what that skin looks like. And so, and smells like. It's not so pleasant. But as a chatterbox little kid, you're asking all kinds of questions, and that's how I know what they really look like. Okay. Art Bell with Pamela. You're still having hybrid kids? Yes. I asked somebody to ask the other side because I wasn't getting an answer. And I asked somebody, when is the next hybrid pregnancy? And I got told in 2 years. And I'm like, well, that makes sense because they started working on my body. And when they started working on my body, things got really wonky. So I guess they're taking a break with me for the pregnancies, which is fine. It's been a while since I've had a break from being pregnant, so I have to look up for another 8 flat 6. Okay, let's see. Have you seen Pet Goat 2 yet? And the events portrayed? No, I haven't. Jim, hello Jim. Hey, how you doing? Why are you nervous? Yeah, I am. Glad Tim. Class of 88 here, yeah. Why am I nervous? I'm nervous because I had a really bad psychic experience this afternoon, and I'm still shaking from it. The shaking has significantly subsided, and the psychic vision was about a plane going down, and it was extremely graphic, and it was not just a psychic vision, it was a full-on download, and it really rather traumatized me. And so for me to be on tonight talking, and I got told by a friend, you need to be talking. You need to be, even if you don't feel like it and something does happen, you need to be talking. So, and I'm like, well, because I've been taking care of myself and doing what I can to take care of myself. And that means that I haven't been, the only thing that I've been on, I've been doing the S4 bunker, the S4 paranormal bunker. I've been doing that show. I've done that. I've been on that show for 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, those advertisements need to go right back to the pretty scene I had up. Not these stupid advertisements. Anyway, sorry, I've got YouTube on my big screen TV and all the I'll be nice, all the lights. That's what it is. Time for music, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the 1980s. It's not obvious. Okay, MIB. You believe in Men in Black? Yeah, I personally know a Man in Black. You went, Tim, I didn't know that. I went and met Stanton Friedman in 1989 in my hometown of Alamogordo. Okay, didn't know that. Stanton Friedman actually came to me less than 3 months after he died. That's quite a story. I don't know if I'm going to get into that tonight. DC, do you know why they are here? Well, some are here for genetics. Other ETs are here to work with and manipulate governments. Manipulate is my opinion. So there's some really not okay ETs. So, it is what it is, and whoever AK47MLGABC says, God, I wish YouTube wouldn't show me live videos. Well, then don't be on here. Tim, so many military experiencers were there. Yeah. The interesting thing is that ET abductions, oh, Jim, that's an excellent question. What about false memories? I'll get to that in just a minute. So many military experiencers were there. Tim, I'm glad you brought that up, because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter what level you are, doesn't matter what part of society you're from. Dang, just a minute. Sorry. That's been because I've been upset. So I'm going to start burping a lot. I apologize ahead of time. You can be from military, you can be from upper echelon society, you can be homeless, you can be an ET abductee. Doesn't matter where you're at. It's like a tag and bag, baby. They do things that is very frustrating. Let's see. Oh, okay, Jim Rose. What about, and sorry for the stomach growling. Hey, Amy. What about false memories? False memories. I've had false memories. It's where the ETs When something, okay, so for example, when I was 6 or 7, I think I was 7, I was being brought back by an ET, and I jumped up and down on my bed. My room was completely lit up, like daylight was coming through. It was more than daylight. It was a bright, bright, bright white light that came through both of my windows. I had a front window and a window that looked out onto my neighbor's front yard, and it was also part of my side yard. And the room was completely white. The wall, you couldn't even see the color on the walls. It was, and I had a purple room. Okay, my mom had painted that room a pale, pale lavender, so pale it was almost in the blush category. Okay, you couldn't see the color on the walls. You couldn't see the color on the curtains. You couldn't see the color on the bedspread. None of it. Okay, it whited everything out. I had 8 foot tall, 7, 8, 9. I had it. I had the memory very, very strongly when I started remembering it, and now as time has transpired over the last 6 years, and with me being so heavily targeted with frequency weapons and microwave weapons and things of that nature, it was somewhere between, she was somewhere between 7 and 9 feet tall. But I was standing on my bed, bouncing up and down, and she had literally just brought me back. She brought me back from being abducted, and she was completely invisible. She had, when they go invisible, it's called phase shifting. Now, I didn't know that until the last pregnancy. My infant actually told me that. It's called phase shifting, Mama. And I'm like, you mean to tell me when they make themselves invisible and walk through a frickin' wall? That's what's called phase shifting. Yes, Mama. Okay, so, and see, these infants, they are telepathic with you. So the room was stark white. I'm standing on my bed, single twin bed, and I'm bouncing up and down. And I'm like, come on, begging and pleading with her. And I knew it was a female, to show me what she looked like. And when she showed me what she looked like, by that point, she had got, and this had gone on for minutes because I was relentless. I was not relenting on the fact that I wanted to see her. I had just seen her on ship. Didn't faze me in the least. But she was on my own home turf. She was in my bedroom. It was my supposed safe place. And she was like, okay, I will show you, but only if you get into bed. And I'm like, oh, come on. Please show me, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me. You know how kids are. And that's how I was. And she's like, you need to get into bed. So I got on the bed, a very specific, she goes, no, you, and she got very specific with me. She goes, you have to be underneath the covers before I will show you what I look like. And she did. And the second I saw her, I started screaming bloody murder, monster, and that's all I could, the word out of my mouth was monster. I was screaming so loud, and I literally just got, my mom's on the other side now, I literally just got told by my mother, you also woke the neighbors up. I didn't know that. I just now found that out. My mom just told me that. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't, after all these years, I never knew that, although it would make sense. And so, and the white light As soon as I started screaming, within seconds, she was gone. The white light in the room was gone. And my mom, you hear my mom's bedroom door open up, the door bouncing back. I've never described that before, but bouncing back and forth off the wall, off the rubber stopper at the door base, and her running down the hallway to my room, because there was a bathroom between our bedrooms. And my door flies open and the light switch is right next to the door jamb, and on goes the light, and I'm sitting straight up in bed just screaming. And she couldn't get me to stop screaming. It took some time. I'm hearing her, she goes, "You were really scared, really terrified, Nikki." And I'm like, "Yeah, I was. I was horrified." And it was because here you had a, what looked like a male. There were no breasts. It was reptilian type of extraterrestrial. It was like they had no skin, and if it was skin, you could see through it, and all I saw were black veins, not blue, but black veins, and like red muscle all across the flat chest, but muscular, and a build, and a very specific kind of reptilian head, no tail, big hands, big feet, and just massive. Not only had she just been carrying me on board ship, I was also, I was playing with her. Yeah, now that I think about it, I wonder how old she was. Because some of them can be up to 2,500 years old. Boy, let me tell you, when I got told that by an ET, I lost my mind over that one. I was like, no way. It took me over a year to wrap my head around that little bit of information, and it still is a mind bender to me. I'm like, bullshit. There's no way in hell any kind of being can live that long. Oh, yes, they can. Oh, boy, did I find out. Yes, they can. So I still have a very difficult time with that. It still is a, God dang it. Stupid. Okay, so anyway, so if you see things in the background, it's I've got, like I said earlier, I've got YouTube up. Florian, your body, your choice. You may be entitled to legal compensation. I wish. With all the stuff I've been through, yeah, I wish. I need to hear your testimony, says Jim. Yeah. Yeah, like Para says, there's a bunch of videos on this channel that details it, and he's right. I go into great detail on some of these. You're not feeling good. Oh, Jim, I hope you feel better. Thank you for coming in. Okay. Paramarv, why do they need our genetics, and how do the cattle mutilations fit in with these activities? Cattle mutilation, as I understand it, Para, deal with a completely different group of ET. Ouch. Now things are popping on me. That's interesting. So, as I understand it, that is a completely different group than the group of ET that do hybridization. It's a completely different group of ET that than does SSP or does MyLab abductions. It's a completely different group. And I believe it's a form of the Greys, but I could be very mistaken on that. That's my own personal belief and take on it. Implanted in my wrist. Yeah, Jim, I've got so many different implants that there is something implanted in my wrist. Okay, so you can either have it removed, but then the question becomes, if you have it removed, how well do you trust that doctor to give that device to you? Or are they going to take it and hand it over to the government? Or you can have it scanned and find out if it's got some kind of frequency to it. I've heard of people doing that. The problem is that if you have it removed, 8, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back and they're going to put it back in, or they're going to find a different way to put one back in you, because those are tracking devices, or depending upon how old it is, or they are medical tracking devices in how to track you. The newer ones, from what I understand, the newer devices that are implanted are a combination of both, and they move. So if you try to access them, those little buggers, they move so that they don't get removed in that level. There have been known cases, don't ask me what they are, you're going to have to do your own research. I've seen the people talking about it. There's been a lot of abductees talking about this in the last 4 or 5 years, about how their ET implants, they wanted to have it removed, and the damn things avoid the tweezers or the forceps or whatever the doctor is using. Very inventive of the ETs to do that, and a real pisser from the ET abductee point of view, in my take on it. Florian, I will take a job on off-world spice mines at this point. Just give me my Yoda hut and my galactic credits and leave me be. Yeah, I don't blame you. I know a lot of people that are feeling the same way, my dear. Jim Rose, I talked to my next door neighbor for the first time. She believes she has an implant on her spine. Yeah, that it's very possible. It's very, very possible. Tim and Nikki, Stanton did a speech in our 2-leveled movie theater, smoking and non-smoking. There were so many pilots and other Holloman Air Force Base people there that wanted to share their... Oh my God, Tim, you and I need to talk. I would love to hear about this. Yeah, I bet you were blown away. That's it's called Horizon. Okay. Describe normal. Share. Yeah. I freak you out, Jim? Why do I freak you out, hon? When did your mom tell you you woke the neighbors up? A few minutes ago. She's apparently sitting here, and I didn't realize it because I didn't feel her, but I heard her, and I was like, holy shit, that's my mom. Which makes sense that I didn't feel her, because I've been a little upset tonight. Lano74, coming in a little late. What did you see that made you say monster? Oh, an ET. 7 to 9 foot tall ET standing, reptilian type ET standing at the foot of my bed. Florian, I think it was a reptilian, perhaps. Quark elf. Hi, Anastasia, welcome. Thank you, Para, for being... I thank you for doing all the wrench tonight. Thank you. Seriousness. If they have ships they can grab you with, nobody seeing it. I feel like they'd have technology to take whatever they want from us without us knowing. DC, you are exactly correct, my dear. They have the technology, they have the ability. Certain ones regarding SSP and my labs have abilities to steal subsections of our higher consciousness. Now, whether you choose to believe that or not, that's fine, whatever. I've seen it. I've been shown the device. It literally goes over the top of the forehead. It's about, well, hang on a second. I gotta get the tape measure out again. It is about 1.5 inches. Okay, hang on. About 1.5 inches. Oh, that's not right. Okay, so here's 0. There's 1.5. So about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in thickness, and it's a 3-part device. One sits on top of another, and it has a curve to it. And it literally, I had no idea that our brains had that many levels of higher consciousness until I was shown that device and until I was told how it operated. And I was like, oh, you're full of shit. Oh my God, you're full of shit. And I found out, boy, was I wrong. Really wrong. So it's not just the ETs who can do this, it's the ETs who also work with human governments can do this as well. And it's pretty sickening when you start thinking about all of that. In all seriousness, if they have ships that can grab you, nobody can. Okay, yeah, just read that. If they're aware of your psychic abilities, you're probably under surveillance. Oh yeah, very much so, Lono. I'm a targeted individual. It's not been nice. It's been rather vicious, in fact. I didn't care when I saw the light. When you leave this realm, nothing worries you. Very true. Whoops. Well, yes and no. You do have a tendency to worry about your loved ones when you're on the other side. I can feel my mother right now. Holy crap. Watch on top. I've heard painful when they move. Just on top of that, yeah. Oh, Paramarv, I didn't know that. Paramarv is saying Whitley Strieber's implant in his ear moved. Wow. I like my implant. I'll send you pictures. That would be great. You know, the one that I had in my nose when I was a kid, eventually, I believe I blew it out because I had so many damn nosebleeds as a kid. But I've been told it was removed, so I don't know. Personally, I think I blew it out with all the nosebleeds I had, but that's beside the point. It can be painful. Susan Garcia, have you been abducted? Yes, my dear. I'm abducted from birth, basically. Jules coming in. Jules. Deleted. Def. I saw a UFO once. It disappeared twice from the daytime sky by dimming down. Yep, I've seen that too. Sounds like she has. Yep. Jules, hey, good to see you, my dear. Are you fun? Am I fun? Yeah, I can be. When I have my better days, yeah, I really can be. Couldn't find the chat. Had to get on the app. Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. My opinion is they are fallen angels, not aliens. Oh, okay. Without me being rude, I subbed interesting accounts. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So Susan Garcia, they're not fallen angels. I've seen fallen angels. I've seen angels. I've seen archangels. I've seen prime angels. I deal with the paranormal. And I've been on paranormal teams before, where I've had people who we've all worked together and we all have each other's back. I've also had a few instances over the years where people are not team players, and that can cost somebody's life or somebody's soul. So that's kind of a big deal. Yeah. There's a big difference between angels and extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrials are off-worlders. Angels are a completely different being. They are a completely different level. They are in the ethereal. Extraterrestrials are physically living. They're fleshies, like you and I. We're fleshies. They are not. They can be if they choose to be, but it takes a great deal of effort, and for them to do that, they have to have permission. That's a whole nother subject we don't need to get into right now. Jim Rose, 20 and back. Yeah. I've not done 20 and back, but I've been a pilot. That's good to see you, Jules. Good to see you. Hi, angels. Yes. Hello. Jim, medbed. Yep. Medbeds are real. I have seen them. What's my major? Not going into that right now. It's kind of, did you have to sub to get directly? Really? I didn't know that, Tim. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad. I'll look into that. Figure that out finally. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Did I say? Oh no. What is advanced tech? Advanced tech. Oh my God, that's a subject and a half. Yeah, you're welcome, Susan. Inner Earth. Okay, Jim will get into that in just a minute. Susan Garcia, Inner Earth is where I also heard they hide. Yes, so many theories. Thanks for your insights. Yeah, you're welcome. Inner Earth, there are a number of cities. People don't like hearing that, but there are. It's daylight in some places, from what I've been told. I'm having flashback memories of some of it now. I didn't before. I know many people that, and you got to do what's best for you and your situation, because I've psychically seen that, and this is not going to come over well. I've talked about this before. It's not going to go over well with government, but I have psychically seen that experiencers, somehow they're going to be qualified experiencers, and we will be in front of Congress, in front of skiffs, locked down skiffs in front of Congress. When that will happen, how long, I don't know, but I know that it will happen. I've been shown it numerous times already. And for whatever reason, as I understand it, for me, I will not do hypnosis, so my memories are they're all coming back to me. God, I got that song stuck in my head now. 80s song. I think it's 80s song. Late 80s. Anyway, I don't even know where to go with that. You have to do you and what's in your best interest and what you are comfortable with. What I know is legally that doesn't fly, having hypnosis regression sessions. I believe in hypnosis regression sessions if done appropriately in the right way. And there are quite a few people that I know that are very good at it, without leading questions and that kind of thing. But for me, I'm not doing that as much as I want to on certain memories that I've got because I want more information. I feel that for me, it's not a safe option yet. On top of the fact that I have been consistently shown and told that I'm not able to be hypnotized. As was shown to me in a very public way in March of 2019 because a government asshat who tried to do it and do that to me in public without my permission. And that's what I say to him. But you have to do what's in your best interest and what works best for you. And if that is what works best for you and that brings back all of the memories, then go for it. But you have to be careful. Once you open that doorway, you might be surprised by what all comes in. So just be aware of that. DC, what's stopping them from just taking over our planet, or are we some sort of ant farm for them? No. What's stopping them? They've got you've got the consortium. Everybody knows them as the Galactic Federation. That's not what I know them as. I know them as the consortium. They are essentially like a galactic federation, large group of different ETs, different beings from multiple different locations. They come together. Earth isn't supposed to be touched for specific things. And according to what I understand, I could be mistaken on this, but according to what I understand, the ones that are working with government aren't supposed to be. They aren't part, according to what I understand, they aren't part of the consortium. Because if they were, they'd get their asses handed to them. Nikki has a Nikki has a delay on the chat, but we all love Nikki. Thank you. Why can't I defend you? I have no idea. Okay, so that was from Jen. Spiritual warfare is real. Yes, spiritual warfare is real, Susan. Very much so. Okay, so I'm trying to get caught back up. It's good to see you too, Jules. Para, wonder why would ETs remove an implant? Could it be they saw an impact to someone's health? Remove an implant? Why would the ETs? If anything, they would remove an old one and put in a new one. One that is not biomechanical, what the hell is it called? It's not biomagnetic. What the hell, Nikki? I can't grab the word from my brain. Biomimetic. Now that was my mom. biomimetic. It's where it integrates into the tissues. Tim Mothman, Nikki is fun, trust me. Tim, we're not going there. Just kidding, we know you are. Yeah, I know. Let's try to make Nikki giggle. Yeah, there's a few people that can get me laughing, and oh God help you. At least I don't have a weird laugh. Truth Seekers, have you ever seen a battle between ETs and angels, or a battle between two different kinds of UFOs? I have seen... Okay, folks, hold on to your hats on this one. I have seen ETs fight other ETs. I have been in hand-to-hand combat with other ETs. Obviously, not at this size. When I was physically fit and very healthy, yeah. So, am I going to describe that? No, not right now. I get kind of angry. It kicks in some of my anger. So, I'm not going to describe that. Between ETs and angels? No, but the angels, when I go to ask the angels about certain things regarding ETs, I get some really interesting responses is the word I was looking for. Yeah, best to bring a buddy into a hypnosis session. Yeah, and I just recently found out if you are somebody who's new to hypnosis and you don't know that you were part of SSP, it might be a wise idea to have a safe person to not only protect you, but protect the one who is doing the hypnosis. I just recently found out that could be very, very important. So it would have to be somebody that you trust implicitly, because they're going to be hearing your information to an nth degree. So it's a safety measure for all involved. Jules, I won't do hypnosis either. The memories I have are conscious memories. I don't know if I trust anyone. I can self-hypnosis pretty well. Yeah, if you get into... I agree, Jules. If you get into a meditative state, a specific kind of meditative state, you can actually do really, really well with calling up your memories. Our memories, how... I'm not going to get into that tonight, but yeah, I agree. Para, question. One of the big stories of late is the 31 Atlas object that appears to be headed this way and expected to arrive in November. Do you have any insights on this object? On the object itself, no, I do not. But I do know this. If it goes past Mars, Mars has got quite a bit of weaponry on it. And if there's something really wrong, I can only imagine it would be my summation and a hell of an estimation on my part. But I can conceivably see them blowing it out of the water, or out of the sky, out of space, blowing it into parts, let's put it that way. Would they? I don't know. Do I know what it is? No, I don't. I haven't been paying that much attention, other than I have heard about it. I haven't had any psychic hits on it. And I just got told it's quote unquote not a threat. Quote and quote, not a threat. Thinking about that too. Okay, consortium is what our Keith Andrews calls them too, as a group, yes. Marvin, error correction. Okay. SO 14 pause. Are you Christian? Yes, I am. I'm Christian and I'm going through this. I'm at the bottom. Holy cow. I didn't expect to be at the bottom yet. Okay, folks, you got any other questions for me? Yeah, I am. I am a Christian and I am a psychic and a medium and ET abductee and a MyLab experiencer and survivor and an SSP survivor. I did not go through, not a lizard man, honest. Oh, you retracted your message. Now that you're caught up, I'll ask again. Do you believe they're extra dimensional? Oh, see, I must have missed something. Are you a lunatic? No, I'm not. Faith. DC, short answer, faith. Okay, now that you're caught up, I'll ask again. Do you believe they're extra dimensional or extraterrestrial in nature, or does it depend on species? Very good question. Quite honestly, it does depend on species. It depends on what their technology is, from what I've seen. How else do I answer that? There are some, okay. They have the ability to open portals. Okay, I'm literally hearing the words transwarp. It reminds me of Star Trek shit. Anyway, I know that they can open portals, and I know that they can go through, and they can create long distance portals, one after another, and go through dimension, through one realm, through another, to get where they're going. But it's all spatial. It's not, I did call it realm, and I should not have done that, because I've been through realms before. I have a very dear friend of mine who, one of my Christmas gifts to me, because I was so upset about one of my boys when he was removed from me just before Christmas one year. My friend went searching for my hybrid son, and my friend has the ability to open, he's a human and he opens portals, and he's a healer and he's a psychic and a medium and blah, and an experiencer and blah, 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 blah. One of the things that he did was he came and got me Christmas Day or Christmas night and said, I want to take you somewhere. And I said, what the hell are you pulling? And he's like, I want to take you somewhere in Astral. And he goes, I know you haven't been in Astral in a long time, but I want to take you in Astral somewhere. And I said, okay, I have to trust you implicitly in order for me to allow anybody to take me in Astral anywhere. And I did. I trusted him. And we went through 7 portals. And he goes, I found your son. And I went, no way. And he goes, oh yeah, I found the planet, I found the ship, all of it. And it was like it was almost too good to be true. And he took me, he had opened portal after portal, and going through each portal in Astral, my head spun. It was like going, the only thing I can describe it as is a vortex, because it was circular, and it spun, and it sucked you in, and you went full, oh my God, so fast. And he took me to the planet. We flew right through, in Astral, right through the ship, and straight down to the planet. And the ship recognized me. It knew I was, because you got to remember, these are This is, it's not metamaterial. It's these specific consortium ships. They're living metal. They have a consciousness, and it recognized me. And it was like, you're here. And I'm like, son. And the sensation I got was down there. It was like the ship was getting me to understand that my hybrid son was in a gestational container on the planet. And that's where we went. I couldn't tell you much about the planet because I was like, the only thing I cared about was I wanted to see my hybrid. I wanted to see my son. And I went. And he was beautiful. And he was sleeping. And I went and I walked up and I touched the container. And he woke up. And he goes, Mama, you're here. And I'm like, hi, my baby, how you doing? And I'm gonna start crying. It meant the world to me. It meant everything that my friend did this for me. And I spent some time there. We both did. And if I remember correctly, baby said thank you to my friend, and we went back. And I just sat and cried. I was sitting in the computer chair at the time, and I just sat and cried because I was like, oh my God, that was incredible. And I was higher than a kite. I was psychically high as a kite. It was a really incredible experience to have that. I could see him, I could feel him. My little one, and my God, he had grown really fast. He was almost ready to be birthed at a point where he had another 2 months, but I had no idea how fast that these babies grow. I mean, it was just wow. Okay, whoops. So hopefully that answers your question, Lano. What led me to be a Christian? Faith. Yeah. Faith in what? Faith in God. There were so many things. Okay, so from the time I was a child, I was never afraid of death and dying. 2 years old. Never understood why people were so scared of it. Didn't understand it. My dad's mom, when one of, I can't remember which, hang on a second, I gotta think about this a second. So my grandmother's sister had died first. It didn't register with me what death was until my grandfather's brother had died. And my grandfather's brother had lived with them, had lived with my grandparents. And when I was 8 years old, so we were at the funeral home, and my grandmother put me in to the room, closed the double doors, and said, say your goodbyes to your uncle. 8 years old. Open casket. Dead body. It made an impact. Made a significant impact, and it was a very stupid thing to do to a kid. One in which I'm still not happy with. Sorry, people are yapping at me right now, and I'm like, I'm not going there right now. Yeah, spirit's yapping at me, and I'm like, the only time I call it yapping is when I get annoyed. So I always knew that there was a higher Well, that's an interesting statement, Joe Man. I do not agree with that statement. So faith in what? Faith in a higher power. I knew that there was God. I don't know how else to explain it. I just always knew. Then I had a great aunt who was extremely religious. And my mom raised me to believe in whatever I chose to believe in. She, free will thinker is the term that pops into my head when I think of my mom. She was one of these women. She was a single parent in the 70s, late 60s, in through the 70s, and she was like, I want you to believe whatever you believe in. I want you to do your own research and do your own looking into things. I'm not going to force you into any religion. I'm not going to force you into, and that's how it was worded. It wasn't worded like that until after I was like 11 or 12. But it was like free thinker was the terminology back then in the 70s. You sound okay. H. Navarro, you sound insane. You're a lunatic and you should be in the mental health facility for your own good. Stop using the internet to spread this schizophrenic garbage. Seek help before your brain fully rots. That's the kind of stuff that if you are an ET abductee and you're an experiencer, expect to hear that. Somebody screenshot that for me and then get rid of that shit. Seriously, screenshot it and send it to me. And then one of my mods, get rid of it. Because that's full of shit. That is the attitude of a lot of the public. And it's bullshit. It's flat out bullshit. Just because you do not believe or have experienced the things that I have gone through, or the things that over 20 people that I personally know have experienced. So according to you, we're all schizophrenic. What about the thousands of people who are abductees? We're not the only one. We're not the only one. Only ones, plural, excuse me. We are not. There are thousands of us. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was hundreds of thousands of abductees on this planet because of the amount of women who are being abducted for hybridization programs. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Go look up Cheryl Costa. Go look up her pink book on ufology. 20 years worth of sightings, UFO sightings. And I'm not calling them UAPs. These are UFOs. These are objects in the sky that were not able to be fully identified. 20 years worth. She's got the statistics. She and her wife, Linda Costa, both of them are forgive me, ladies, statisticians, I think is the correct terminology for that. Oh, hang on. And by the way, Para, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm getting rid of that shit off of my chat. It's important that people who are abductees, thousands or millions, however many there are, you're not crazy. You're not schizophrenic unless you've been fully diagnosed as schizophrenic. Just because other people do not believe you are an experiencer, and yet you're experiencing things. You've got body marks on you. You've got scoop marks on you. You've got surgical marks on you that you cannot figure out. I have a friend, 3 long ass bloody freaking surgical marks on his knee. I think it was his knee. Yeah, it was his knee. And folks from a specific, oh, good night, Jules. Folks from a specific group, a specific podcast, specific radio show, who are in my chat will know exactly who I'm talking about. He had surgical marks. One morning woke up, did not have surgery, did not have anything. One night, goes to bed. Following morning, he's got 3 surgical marks, deep incision marks on his knee. That's ET abductee. Whatever kind of ET abductee, whether it's MyLabs, whether it's SSP, whether it's a hybridization program. There's so many things. That is the kind of thing, and they're not this person. I just saw a cat, a spirit cat. Hello. Oh my God, sorry, that just kind of shocked me. Cat with his tail walking straight across my living room. Hello. God. Anyway, you can have body marks from abductions. Human surgery on this wrist, carpal tunnel surgery. ETs the following year did carpal tunnel surgery on this wrist. Surgery marks that disappear within 6 hours or 12 hours. Now his lasted a lot longer, which makes me suspicious, very, very suspicious, because usually the good ETs will add the spray, the healing spray, over the skin, and the skin will heal within a very enormously short amount of time. Something like what he experienced should have been gone within 12, 18 hours tops. But he looked like he was returned, and it had just happened within probably 4 hours. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's very, very concerning. Yep. Looks like we went off and came back on again. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. What kind of power would not allow to... okay, not getting into that one, DC. I understand where you're coming from on that, though. Para, Faith has come up a couple of times today. What is your understanding of how these ETs fit in? Are they just other subjects like us, or do they have some other role? Okay, you might need to rephrase that question, dear, because I'm starting to get a little on the tired side, and we're now into 2:06 a.m. Oh, you sent. Oh, thank you, Para. I missed it when you read it out loud and went looking for it. I realized that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Para. And don't worry about missing it, because that's a prime example of what abductees and experiencers go through. I get that all the time. There are times where it's only in the last couple of years that I've actually started making statements, public statements in other people's chats, whether it's a Gaia on Facebook or they do a video and I'll disagree with something that somebody has said, or and I'll make a statement, and I get all kinds of shit, and that's a prime example of the shit that I receive as an abductee. People cannot stand the fact they call us crazy. They call us, oh, you're schizophrenic, you're this, you're that. No, we're not. I've been through the counseling methods, and I've done the counseling route and all that stuff. No, I'm not crazy. I don't give two shits what you think of me. But I know for my own sake, I'm not crazy. I'm not a lunatic, and I'm not schizophrenic. If other people cannot handle that, I'm an ET abductee, extraterrestrial abductee, off-worlder abductee, so be it. That's on them. Why do I give a shit what they think of me? So, but I sure as hell don't have to put up with it. Can I be you? No, please don't. You don't want to be me. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that, but make it make sense. Yeah, thousands more too. Yeah. Many more probably don't remember either. Yeah, Jules, you're right. A lot of times the abductees, they're made not to remember. So we were talking about false memories. What I didn't get to, what I meant to get to, but what I didn't get to was the fact that false memories happen when you go through something so traumatic. So during that time when I was jumping on the bed, on my bed, when I was 6, 7 years old, and the ET was standing at the foot of my bed, 7 to 9 foot tall reptilian-like ET, female reptilian ET, and I kept calling her a monster because she showed herself. They had used part of the memories that I already have. So in that home that I was living in, I was being sung to every single night by a ghost. This female spirit who I saw every single night, who knew I was being abducted. Matter of fact, I'm going to start crying because I think about that now, and I think about the fact that she saw what was happening to me, and she saw what it was doing, but I also know that she was forbidden from the outside to talk about it, to tell me. So she used to come to my bedside. Here this ghost is. She was, I think she was 32, 33 years old. And she so badly wanted children, and I became kind of a surrogate child to her. And she sat on my bedside every night and sang me to sleep, almost every night, and sang me to sleep, because I had such a hard time going to sleep. And there were times I was terrified to go to sleep because of these ETs. There were times I would hide under my bed because, hello, that's what you did when you were a kid. You didn't know where else to go in your room. Well, that didn't work, so then I turned to the closet. Well, that didn't work, so then I started putting laundry over myself to hide myself at night and sleep underneath laundry in my closet because I was so terrified at times, especially after that incident. So what did the ET started doing? They started splicing the memory that I had of this ghost, of this spirit who was coming to me. Sorry, my ankle just popped. Every night, and they made they put that, it's called a screen memory, not a false memory. Well, you can call it that. You screen memory or false memory, it's the same thing essentially. And they combined the two memories together and crossed it over so that my memory then became only seeing and remembering her singing to me. So, oh, and if you hear snoring, I got a dog on the couch not very far from me who's starting to snore now. um, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, mods. Definitely, Jim Rose. It's not crazy. No, it's not, Florian. Abducted my ego a few times. You have marks. Yeah, there are a lot of people that I know that have marks. There's so many. I was at a Paracon. God, I'm trying to remember what year. It was the 20th anniversary of the one in Oregon, McMinnville, the McMinnville, Oregon 20th anniversary event that they have every year in McMinnville, Oregon. God, I have a hard time saying that name. And I had a guy come up to me. He was from a different section of Washington, and he had been told that I was an ET abductee and that I had marks on me. And he wanted to talk to another abductee. And I was like, okay. And he had just, if I remember correctly, he had just gotten in with MUFON and was learning to be a, not an experiencer, a investigator. I can't think of the word. And he talked about the marks that he had on his body, and I'm like, that's very normal. And if I remember correctly, I had like a mini psychic vision about different things, and I'd asked him different questions. He's like, how did you know that? Well, it was just psychic info. It had popped up, and so he had all kinds of questions because he was just learning about his experiences. It's difficult. I mean, you've got to be you've got to be understanding about these things, and it's hard. It's hard to be an extraterrestrial abductee and go through these and deal with people, even family members who don't believe that you're experiencing this. You got to stand your ground if you're going to come out. Even close friends. Some may not trust you. You may never trust them again, especially when you find out exactly where they stand on that subject. You will find out real fast how you do not ever want to say another word to them about the subject again. And if it ever gets brought up to that person by somebody else, and it gets talked about while you're in front of them, it's best to walk away, because otherwise you're putting on a fake face and you're having to deal with the bullshit attitude and the bullying and the making fun of being made fun of and the nastiness that comes with it. Why do that to yourself? Why allow yourself to be around that? At least you know how they feel. But will you ever trust them again? No. And why should you? You just found out that they're not trustworthy with that kind of information. So Lono, you've blipped a few times. You must be irritating someone with what you're talking about, probably. Something on my wrist. Yeah, you talked about that. You have balls. Yeah, I've been told that too. um, Ahmad Hatter. Not sure how to pronounce your name, but thank you for your comment. They say, you seem like a nice lady. No, you're not crazy. Keep shining. God bless you. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's exactly it, Jim. Don't be a bitch. I mean, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Follow up on my other question. Some folks believe the ETs are our creators. Others believe the ETs are essentially other gods. Oh, they are not gods. Oh, extraterrestrials are absolutely not gods. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And wow, if you said that to them, that would be a lengthy conversation, especially with the ETs who are very legalistic. The legalistic ones, that will not go over well with them. So, believe ETs are our creators. No, they're not our creators. Oh, well, okay, it depends on who you talk to and how you view it. That's how I should say that one. I have been told by certain races of ETs that humans were, quote unquote, seeded on our planet. Now, I know other abductees who call that absolute bullshit. That's fine. I'm just telling you what I have been told. That's fine. You don't have to believe it. But that came straight more than just one race of ET. So I have a tendency more to believe that than I do it not being correct. I mean, when you get more than one race of ET saying it to you, and they're not in the same room at the same time, yeah, then you start going, huh, yeah, I don't know where else to go with that one, but that's where I will leave it. JM, excuse me, it's called prayer. If God talks to you, it's called schizophrenia. True. Yeah, JM, that's a pretty good take on it. And yet at the same time, that's not what's real. So there you go. Vip. Okay, pardon me. Do not know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Vipul Singh. Do most Americans hate on Indians? No, they don't. I couldn't breathe. Yeah, okay. Okay. Whoops, hello. No, I don't believe that's true. Most Americans like, respect, appreciate the folks of Indian descent, whether they were born in India, here in the States, or somewhere else. Yes, thank you, Para. Much better. Thank you for, Jim says, thank you for being honest, girl. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna try and, boy, you've had your hands full tonight, Para. Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, I do believe in psychiatry. I believe that it can work. Real question. I know it's a real question, hun. Yeah, I do believe in psychiatry. I do believe that counseling can really help folks. Back when I had my counseling in the 90s, PTSD. Now it would be classified as complex PTSD because of all the shit I've experienced and have been through multiple levels of it. So I get it. I understand. I died and you think I'm lying? What are you talking about, Jim? I must be missing something, if any. For instance, isn't a real science. Psychology is. Psychology, yes, UFO conference. Thank you, Para. The psychology of things is, it has some merit, though. Yes, it does have merit. No worries, it's all right. Social media, I have seen a lot of toxicity and hate towards us without any reason. As in India, the country, or as in Native American, indigenous, because there's different that word means a few different things. And oh my, you really are starting to snore. I am an AI engineer here, but now hesitate to travel to the West to work on exciting things. Oh. Yeah, you're concerned about bigotry. Look, you always have the option of leaving if you don't like the experience. Mexico. Wait till you hear about the alien abductions in Mexico. Oh yes, I have heard some of them. Some of them really are rather concerning, to say the very least. What I'm going through. Church and Rose Trust. Lex. Good night, Lex. It was nice having you. Thanks for coming in. I don't understand what is happening. Yeah, Jim. I'm a doctor. Doctor of what, dear? Don't be afraid. Come on over to the stage. You'll be glad you did. Lex, Nikki is awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Lex. Yeah, because I'll talk about this. Oh, here's an interesting question. Are ETs in the White House? If I answer that, I could potentially get shut down. What I believe versus what I know are two different things on that subject. What I believe is a yes. What I know, I do not know for sure. We'll see how long I stay online. Great question. God bless. Yeah, you too. Para. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Florian. Yeah, psychology is more science than psychiatry. Good night. Wake up and smell the roses. Jim, who are you? I don't know. You amaze me. Okay. Very comforting about hearing a sleeping dog. Yeah, there can be. Or a sleeping cat, for that matter. White House is though the people. So I'm gonna. Yeah, Amy, I'd be more concerned about ICE than the typical person here. They have gotten pretty brutal. Yes, they have. Are you debating on the existence of God? No, I'm not. Halo Fish. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with that. Para, yeah, not a clue as to what the heck is going on. Yeah, you're welcome. No, we're talking about extraterrestrials and abductees and paranormal and secret space, although we really haven't gotten a secret space program, and I just lost it. Secret space. Oh, my labs. That's what I was going to say. My labs. No, I was a pilot in SSP, and as a pilot, I've seen spiders as long as my couch. This is a 7-foot couch, I think. 6, 7, 7, about 7 feet in length. Yeah, no kidding. I'm not going to read that one out loud, DC, but yeah, I get it. So that was the leg span. Yeah, those are giant spiders. They were 12 to 15 feet tall. And I have a very hard time with that memory. That memory actually came about because of another SSP, a soldier. I was getting him and a number of other soldiers out of the area, and it did me in. I was flying us out, and what I didn't know, well, I knew, but I didn't remember until sometime after this memory. And they're actually very nice, but the problem is that the US government, combined with other global governments of this planet, are stealing minerals from the spider's planet. And I don't know the name of the planet. I just remember it was red. Spiders were red and black. Gigantic. Just gigantic. And it's still almost like it's unbelievable to me that this is a memory of mine, but it is a memory of mine. And I have a very specific memory of flying us out. And there was one guy who almost got left behind. And it was like, no man or woman left behind, period. You did not get left behind on my watch. No way in hell as I was ever going to let that happen. And that was a really big thing to me. And so the guy that I eventually saw murdered in front of my face, this was before that experience. This was long before that experience, and he was essentially a teammate of mine. And one of the other guys was last in getting on board in the back of the transport vehicle. And I was in the process, we were airborne. We were literally airborne at the time. And I saw one coming at us and one coming from behind. And as I was starting to do a slow spin so that this other guy could get in the back end of the vehicle, he got in, and I remember hitting the button, and I remember being telepathic somehow at the same time, and the door closing. Everybody else, if I remember correctly, was strapped in. He was not. And just as we're starting to leave, we got nailed by one of the legs, paws, feet, I don't know what the hell else do you call it, from a spider. And we got clipped from behind, and it spun. We spun. And some way, somehow, I got us out. I don't remember I just knew the right maneuvers to get us out. And part of that was because they had been forcing me to practice maneuvers from the time I was 8 years old. Well, 9 technically, but I mean, they really started with me with 8. But so, and that's why I've got this body muscle memory in this body of being on what I to this day still call sleds. They're like Olympic luge bobsled sleds. It's what it reminds me of. That's not what they were, but that's what it reminds me of, because you're going back and forth, and you've got the different body maneuvers going back and forth with you. Paramar, Nikki, it's funny that you mentioned giant spiders. Truth Seekers, who was here earlier, has been telling me about 20-foot plus mantids. Yeah, I know people that remember 15-foot mantids. I do not remember 15-foot mantids. I remember 8, 9 foot tall mantids. I do not remember them being that tall. Why do they need pilots? This is part of the SSP program that I was talking about. And minerals were being stolen. Pilots were needed for different various missions. There were missions that were done to where I got everybody out alive, and there were missions to where not even half of them were supposed to live, and I got yelled and screamed at by a colonel, a lieutenant colonel to be precise, and he got up in my face, about this far away from my face, and he's yelling and screaming at me, and it's essentially a dressing down, and I was in my head saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it wasn't nice. I got the dressing down because, or I got the dressing down. He was screaming at everybody, but I'm the only one who got, because I was the pilot. And I brought everybody back, and they didn't want everybody back. Was he human? Yes. Matter of fact, he retired fucking admiral. Isn't that nice? With full admiral's commission. And what happens to people like me and others who are part of SSP? Free slave labor. What am I watching? Says Michael M. You are watching an ET abductee, an SSP survivor, and a MyLab survivor talk about her experiences. That's what you're watching. I've talked quite a bit. We've had some excellent questions tonight. You're in Ireland. I'm in Washington State in the US. So welcome to my chat. Please be respectful, and you'll be welcome here. Ask questions if you've got questions. We've had at one time up to 50 people in here in the chat, and it periodically comes and goes. Okay, DC, that's a loaded question, but I will answer it. So DC is saying, so there's military dudes that turn kids into extraterrestrial travelers to save people or other aliens. No, not to save. So they use children. They abduct through extraterrestrial, usually, not always. And what will take place? Yes. Michael says, sorry, so you have been abducted by aliens. Extraterrestrials, yes. And I know a vast amount of people who have. A hell of a lot more than 20 people who have been extraterrestrial abducted. There's thousands. Do I believe in God? Oh, yes, I do. And there are some extraterrestrials who actually believe in God, who believe in a source or an all-powerful being. Yes. And then there's quite a few races and species of ET who absolutely do not. So that gets interesting. I don't know, Amy. Amy's asking a very good question. All I remember is that he was a lieutenant colonel, and then that's how I knew him as. And then I found him and started screaming when I found him. That's who I knew him as. I knew him as a lieutenant colonel. And when I unexpectedly came across him on a Google searching for something else, I lost my shit. And I went, I know this MFer as a lieutenant colonel. I knew him with his first, middle, last name, and the nickname that we called him. And I had it verified through somebody else. I was not a happy camper. I lost my shit over it. I mean, I was really not okay about it. I do not know how he went from lieutenant colonel to an admiral. It makes no sense to me, but that's what I remember. Matter of fact, there are 3 military officers that I could name right now, and if I do, I would probably be put in prison for treason or put in some kind of lockdown because of telling the truth. Michael M. Alien abduction is more believable than believing in God. Okay, well, I'm not going down that road with you. Everybody has their own choice to believe whatever they want to believe. Okay, welcome to my chat. Okay, this is their title. The important thing is to never believe. Okay, I didn't even get a chance to read that. Okay, I'm choosing to believe he was swept away. God isn't. Well, that's one way to look at it, Para. So I don't understand it, Amy. I just know that that's what I knew him as when I was going through it. But when I saw him, and I know what my rank is, I'm not talking about my rank. I only, God, what was it in the last 3 months remembered? I'm trying to remember if it was 2 months or 3 months. But anyway, in the last 3 months, is how I'm going to word that. Because I've got it in my notes somewhere. Speaking of which. Yeah, in the last 3 months, because it's in a specific notebook I was just thinking of. So it's there. I have no idea how he changed services. Now, this is what I do know. They can shift. I know this from some of my military friends. They can shift, if depending upon their clearances, they can go from one military service to another. Now, I only know that because of very, very specific individuals I've had in my lifetime. So that may be for a private conversation, Amy, so that I can explain it better. Amy, enlisted rank. Are you referring to me or him? Okay, hang on. I gotta take a drink in this mic. Okay, mine. No, it wasn't. I was an officer. And that might get a little loud too. I know nothing about military here in Canada. It's not a big, oh, got it. Well, it was a big thing in certain ways. Let's put it that way. But I get it. This stuff comes in handy when you need it, especially when it's cheap. So, anyhow, and we're at 2:42 Pacific time right now. So, anybody have any other questions? I mean, we've hit 2 hours and 41 minutes right now. So, if you've got any more questions, ask away. And we've hit quite a few subjects tonight. A lot of the same stuff I've talked about before, but Dustin, were you a commissioned officer? Commissioned would imply money. None of us get paid. When you're part of SSP, you are taken as a child. You're abducted as a child. They try to break you mentally and break your conscious down. And for whatever reason, that supposedly didn't happen with me. No, because it's free labor. They train the kids. Okay, so let's see. DC, I mean, I have a bunch of US shit in certain areas, but it's not like in, don't even know what LT General or whatever is. Okay, got it. Dustin, were you a commissioned officer? No. Well, I was an officer. I suppose you could say I was commissioned. But we were not paid. You're not paid. You are you have. Okay. This is delving into a great length of conversation. Both your question and DC's question, why would they need kids to train if they could just use aliens to do it? Because aliens, ETs, won't do it. That's why. So it becomes free slave labor. Paramar of DC, if you think about it, would you want a 7-year-old flying, fighting, and building stuff for you, or a 27-year-old? Why were you abducted? JS, wow, you're a whole lot of stupid, huh? Oh, that's nice. So all you know how to do is bully? I'm talking about my experiences. And if you can't handle it, then get the hell out. Leave. You don't need to be making nasty remarks. Why was I abducted? Good question. Yes, Amy, that's my point that I've been talking about for the last 5 freaking years. Amy just said this actually would legally be considered kidnapping or child trafficking. And guess what? The US government and the global governments are really good at it. They do it all the fucking time. SSP is a prime example. It's free slave labor. And they get to do whatever they want to these kids and not have any consequences. And they can use any kid they so choose. And it's usually, hold on to your asses for this one, it's usually military kids. So in other words, military and their offspring. No, I'm not. Dustin's asking a very personal question. Are you on disability? No, I'm not, though I should be. And regarding all of that, it means that you're dealing with a whole series of issues when it comes to this subject. Just exactly like Amy said, would be considered kidnapping or child trafficking. And here's something for you. Try being 8 years old, not being able to do what they commanded of you, and them not being able to break you mentally, and you getting electric shocks with a cattle prod. So, yeah, that happened to me too. Let me tell you, when I remembered that, because that memory was hardcore blocked, when I remembered that, I curled up into a ball. I was not okay with that. It's no wonder why certain memories of mine were blocked. So, yeah, there are things that I'm absolutely, totally and completely not okay with regarding how the government, sorry, I'm playing with the tape measure at the moment, so if you hear clicking and popping, that's what it is. It's because I'm getting mad and upset at the same time. I have to have something in my hands at the moment. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with the government doing this. Yeah, that's a bit different. That's a bit different, Dustin. I can talk about those things, but the disability thing, that gets into a different aspect of my personal life, of my daily personal life. And I don't typically talk about my daily personal life. Mermaid Bay. Hi, my name is Tracy and I'm new to your channel. Am I safe to say we are discussing ET, UFO, UAP, and possibly more topics of an unconventional nature? Thank you kindly, sweet friend. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. And welcome to my channel. All I ask is that you're respectful to me and to the others in chat. Actually, mermaids are real. They are real. That's no joke. They are real. There's an entire aquatic life under our ocean. Extraterrestrials are not only off-worlders, they also have bases on this planet, and a lot of them, a lot of the bases are underwater too. I was one from Sirius. Yeah, nothing would surprise me. Nowadays, nothing, not anymore. Have you seen one? A mermaid? No, but I've felt them when they've been near. As a psychic medium, I feel safe to discuss this. Yeah, you are safe to discuss this here. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing this channel, is so that other abductees, other experiencers can have a safe place to openly talk. And if you get bullied, it will not last. The person that's doing the bullying, they will not last on this channel. I will not tolerate that bullshit. And I've got some really good folks who are moderators. So you're my kind of new bestie. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to talk about these things. Yeah, Actually, it is too much because it delves into a different aspect of my personal life. What the hell is his name? Dustin. Yeah. Because that delves into a whole different aspect of my personal life, and I won't. Yeah, my regular everyday life. I can talk about the paranormal. I can talk about the ETs. I will talk about the dog that's sitting here. There are aspects that I will not talk about. That's one of them. Real, oh, you're talking about real versus imaginary? This is not imaginary. What do you specifically mean by real life? I'm talking about my regular day-to-day life and living. I don't know where they come from, hon. DC is saying, so mermaids come from Andromeda with a question mark. I don't know. That's a question for a gentleman that I know who is called R. Keith Andrews. He could definitely confirm or deny or state as to where they're from. So yeah, it's it makes life interesting, doesn't it? I mean, since 2018, 2019, I have stated publicly. Now I don't know if I would sorry, I was asking the mermaid lady, or oh, you were asking Mermaid Bay if mermaids come from Andromeda. Okay, I understand. Okay. Got no clue. But our Keith Andrews would be the one to ask that question to. He would have more information on it. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. So maybe somebody I've known for over 30 years is gonna pop by. Everybody knows mermaids come from Instagram. Oh, that made me laugh. Thank you. I appreciate that. I saw a merman on Cabin in the Woods. That shit was scary. Not a clue as to. Okay. You gotta be really, really careful with that. Yeah, I can understand. See, is she still on? Oh, she's still on. She might come by. Yeah, so you know, I've seen ET underbase. I've seen ET have found ET bases underwater. Cabin in the Woods is a movie in 2013. Thank you, Para. That's what I thought, but I couldn't place it. Is that the one with oh God, he plays Jack Sparrow. I can't think of the actor's name right now. Is that the one with him? Or is that Rear View Window? I don't know. Whatever. Stay away from the flipper side and just go for the neck. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I've located, there's an underwater ET base that got shut down the second they found out that I could see them. And then they opened back up again. Just this year, they opened back up again. Johnny Depp, thank you. I don't think he was in that. Oh, okay. See, I couldn't remember if it was him or if it was somebody else. maybe I'm thinking of Rear Window or something. Anyway, different movie. So, in January, or was it November? I think it might have been November of last year. I'm trying to remember when I was in Marysville, Washington. Anyway, so there is a specific lake with an underwater base, underwater ET base. It's not a my lab or anything like that. Sirius star system. See, now I didn't know that. Mermaid Bay, thank you for that information. I'll look into that. Did the aliens ask for questions during the abduction? No. Okay, now that you just brought up something very interesting, Dustin. The interesting thing on it is that it doesn't matter if you are anorexic thin, it doesn't matter if you are morbidly obese, it does not matter if you're short or tall, doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what disability you have. You will be abducted. Not you will be abducted. What I mean is abductees can be from all walks of life, all cross sections. Does that make sense? Yeah, abduction at every size, at every, not just size, but at every ability, physical ability or no ability at all. There have been people in wheelchairs. Now, I don't understand how some of them are able to walk on craft, on board ship, whereas others are absolutely not. I do know that ETs can completely screw with the human brain in a specific way, and in doing so, we become mindless little automatons for them when we're being abducted. Now, that can piss me off real fast with them. Hello, Universe. You're so sweet, girl. Oh, thank you, Universe. Do you believe in the simulation theory? Simulation? I don't even know what that is. You got to remember, when a lot of things start happening, I close in. I get real quiet. And it doesn't happen all the time, but many, many times it does. Okay. Mermaid Bay. Our physical bodies are part of terrestrial, of Gaia, Earth. And yes, certain ET races, DOD, in fact, mix their DNA and crisp it as we understand in 3D perspective. Mermaid DNA, sorry for the choppy message. Yeah, no worries. It's very late at night here, so I understand. Simulation theory is nothing is real, similar to the Matrix movie. No. No, 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 no. No. I do not subscribe to that. I have no idea. That's a great question. Smart ass question, but a great question. DC, can humans mate with a mermaid? I'm all in. I have not a damn clue. Yes, Florida here. Universe. I mean, do you believe that we're all created by a simulator and we're actually in a game which is made from pixels? No, I do not believe that at all. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I do not believe that. And there are very good reasons why I don't believe that. But from what I've seen and experienced, I can understand why people are starting to think that way. And it's specific to the younger generations. See, I'm 57 years old. It's very specific to certain age brackets, shall we say. But Elon Musk believes in simulation theory. Well, that's fine for him. I disagree with him. And for very good reasons. I don't know if I could be able to explain those reasons, but with what I've seen, nope. Not a simulation. Universe, oh my god, you're 57. I thought you were a minor. Thank you for that. No. I'm 57. Yeah. And trust me, when I was 13, I had people there's a story I told last time on this broadcast. Well, not this broadcast, but one of the previous ones. One of the last 3, I think. My dad, both my parents are on the other side right now. Neither one of them can stand each other, so this is going to get interesting. When I was 13, my dad took me to and I was just telling somebody this not long ago, do a backflip, please. Yeah, right. I could have done that when I was 13. Can't do it now. There's no freaking way. Hi, Spar Echo. Do backflips. God, that got me laughing. Oh, great question, Para. I'll have to get to that in just a minute. But when I was 13, my dad took me to Coast Guard location here in Seattle. And because of my grandfather was Coast Guard, and very well respected Coast Guard, I might add. And they allowed me a tour of one of the Coast Guard cutters. And this might get some, well, I don't know about now. It's been so many freaking years ago. There's a gigantic gap between our ages, dear. You can be one of my kids. Universe, I'm 19. I thought you were even younger than me, but there's a big gap in our ages. Oh yeah, gigantic, honey. I've got 30 hybrid children and 1 biological human child. So, you know, and he's in his 30s. So, hey, there you go. Sorry about the screen in the background. I've got my big screen on and I've got a YouTube channel on. And they keep doing advertisements and I've got this beautiful scenery. It's an 11-hour video. I'll never watch it for 11 hours. But anyway, so my dad took me, my dad and my grandfather actually took me, and I got to go onto one of the Coast Guard cutters. And as I was coming on, and I didn't think 2 things about this. I was in a pair of high heels and a pair of longer shorts. And I was very well endowed on the top half, okay? And I'm coming off the gangplank. There was nobody around when we went up. Nobody really around until the very end, because apparently they found out that there was a girl on board. And coming off the gangplank and onto the wharf, I hear catcalls. My dad spun around. My dad, big guy, 6'2", big broad shoulders, built like a linebacker, football linebacker, turns around so fucking fast. She's 13! I have never seen so many men's heads disappear below the metal. Needless to say, they got their asses in a sling over that one. Because you couldn't tell. I looked like I was 26 years old. I used to get that all the time. So it doesn't surprise me that I'm 57 and I look like I'm much, much younger. So I appreciate that. Anyway, let me get back to this. Oh, good night, Lex. I hope you have a sweet dreams, dear. Mermaid Bay. I'm 50 in October. Well, if I don't see you again, but I hope I do. I hope and wish you have a happy birthday. Mermaid Bay. My middle son is getting honorable discharge Navy at the end of the month. Love our military and protectors. Right on. See, I'm all for our regular military. I'm not a happy camper when it comes to SSP military, because there are some folks that are in regular military that are in part of the SSP. I have a hard time with that. I have a really hard time with that. Because they also, they're doing things that they probably, well, I know they can't talk about. They're signing NDAs. But see here, when I was 13 years old, I have a distinct memory of signing contracts of NDAs at 13. Hell, at 9 years old, 9 and 10. How is that legal? It's not. They're doing illegal things. And they're doing this with children. And this is where I get very, very angry and very, very upset. Because as Amy said, who I believe is still watching and is still in the chat, who's listening, as she said, it's a form of kidnapping and child trafficking, and it is. And the governments are doing it. There are some people who remember being in cages. I do not remember being in cages as a child. But I do remember that cattle prod. I'd like to ram that cattle prod right up through that guy's ass and straight into his brain and just keep it on permanently. So yeah, I do get little bits of anger periodically. Hello, 1111. Well, that's a symbol. Anyway, it's human experience, not humans having a being experience. Yeah. Okay, I didn't get back to your question, did I, Para? Oh my god. Holy crap. Okay, Para. What, generally speaking, do we not understand about our societies and reality? Oh, that's a loaded question, my dear. What do we not understand about our societies? Okay, well, the fact is that many different levels of society are child trafficking. They're doing trafficking of children. I've found out some absolutely horrific things about people that I know, people that I really care about, and have found out that they were part of kidnapping in such a way and drugged in such a way and put in as what are they're known as presidential crap, I can't think of the second word. It's where they become sex slaves. And if you honestly think that what has happened with things like Diddy, or things like, yeah, I know, they're going to have problems with this. Thank you, Para. Very good point. But if you honestly think that that is the only thing out there, honey, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You haven't even begun to make realizations as to what is truly going on this planet. And it's vile, and it's sickening. And it all starts with the children. And it's not okay. And for years I couldn't figure out, I mean, I knew, but didn't really realize why, the rituals and practices, yeah, but you're right. At Mermaid Bay, rituals, practices that sustain their, I'll have to say this verbally in just a specific meat. Suit. And I don't blame you for hating to say it that way. I get it. I get it. Tracy. Yeah, see, I forgot. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I mean, you look at the Epstein stuff, and you look at the Diddy stuff, and it's just the beginning. You have no comprehension of how, I had no idea until I came across certain abductees, until I came across certain SSP members, and what I learned. I've been absolutely mortified, horrified, absolutely, truly horrified by what I've come to find out. And it's truly vile and sickening, and the people that are doing it, it's forms of ritualistic abuse, it's forms of just horrific things. And if people really knew how truly vile many of the humans on this planet are, and how many of the different industries on this planet are so contorted and so truly sick, mentally sick, to be doing what they're doing to children, to teenagers, to adults. People would be vomiting on the spot. I mean, it would just be, and others would be so enraged by it that they would feel like they'd have to do something. If we honestly think, I gotta be very, very careful with how I say this right now. The amount, what is so disturbing to me is the amount of children over the course of time, the amount that has taken place, that have been used. You're not just talking about what is taking place in those situations on that island, or in those, oh my God, I'm gonna have to shut that off. That stuff with the vision is starting to hurt my eyes. Sorry, the TV, they're doing all kinds of advertisements right now. It's starting to really hurt. The flashing of the lights right now. The things that are taking place, it's humanity is very, very sick. And in a lot of ways, a lot of that, where people are okay, the ones that are not being affected, they need to come together and stand up for those who are. Okay, Mermaid Bay, I'd really love to have a real conversation with you. Additionally, I feel compelled to share who and what I am, I know, and would help assist you in your awakening journey. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. On my platform, on my so in how people can get a hold of me, how you can contact me is through email, restore belief. Oh my God, I forgot my own email. 2022@gmail.com. Yeah, you can email me or you can instant message me. Facebook, I'm on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, then email me. Just know that because I'm experiencing my own stuff right now, it might take me a bit to get back to you. I know that I told somebody, I can't remember, it was a gentleman who had asked me, you said to message you and I would get you, and you would get me a list. I haven't gotten the list. I've gotten part of the list. I don't have all the list. But then stuff happened in my life and I started shutting down and needing to shut down to deal with all the things that were taking place in my life. So yeah, just know that that can be a possibility. So that all said, but yeah, I am on Facebook. So all my information is in, it's on my channel. You should be able to, yeah, I figured you had based on what you've been talking about. All that stuff is on my YouTube channel. And this episode and the last 2 episodes, I haven't put up the description box like I normally do. I couldn't handle it. But if you go back before that, you'll find the email, the Facebook channel, or the Facebook information and all of that. So that's just look through those and you'll find it. So last month and a half has been really rough with my friend's suicide, amongst other things he did, of which I still want to beat the little bugger's butt over. And he knows it. Yeah, funny thing is, I haven't seen him around in the last week, but he was around a lot prior to that. But anyway, yeah, so still working through that. So anyhow, on that note, oh, she hasn't. Thought she might by now, but she hasn't. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. We talked about quite a lot of, there we go, plug that back in. We talked a lot about a lot of different subjects tonight regarding ETs, aka extraterrestrials, some about SSP, some about the spiders. That was, when I started remembering the spiders, I got really freaked out. And then I went, wait a minute, why am I so freaked out? Well, it's because of that experience where you're having to run and you're spinning, and that gets to be a little bit much. And then you sit down and you're like, you have other people who remember those spiders, who remember that they're friendly. Why aren't you? And then I start going into my memories more and I'm like, holy shit, yeah, they are friendly. Why? And then it's like, oh, we're mining their planet. Well, no wonder they're going to be defensive. which is interesting because about 5 years, I don't know, 3 to 5 years ago, I started treating spiders in my home differently. Find that interesting. That was before I started remembering. Okay. Just it's 2. Okay. Via Facebook or via... It's not showing up yet. Or via email. Anyhow, I think that's where we're gonna finish. If you are an ET abductee, I just want you to know you're not alone. You can come talk about your experiences here. There are plenty on Facebook. Okay. First time I died. Okay. You can talk about them here, and then there's plenty on my YouTube channel to go in and look to find other sources to listen to. There are other podcasts, radio stations for that, or radio shows for that matter, that are listed in the file folders, and you can find those. You should also be able to see who I follow. I made that available so that people can see that as well, and there's a long list. You should still be able to see that. Excuse me. So, oh, it's because I'm using this old device, that's why. It's not showing up. Make sure it's Nikki Jacobs, Nikki.Jacobs.376, because I'm not getting, it's not showing up, dear. But then again, this might be just being a pain in the butt. Facebook for Paramarv, the first time I died. Well, I'm glad you came back and that you're with us today. Yes, exactly. Honey, 5 times so far. Oh my God. Whew. Well, that's up there with the category of R. Keith Andrews. You and he should talk. Wow. Okay, on that note, I'm going to go. It is, we're 3 hours and 23 minutes into this live broadcast. And it is 3:24 a.m. right now. Para, oh my God, you're really bad at dying. Oh, it means that they're supposed to be coming back. They've got, it specifically means that they've got very specific stuff to be doing. No, not that. I have Ascended Masters as my guides. 6:35 in Florida. Yeah. 35. Why are you 10? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so you're in Florida. I'm in Washington. I don't do well in Florida. There's an SSP conference. There were 2. There was one in July I wanted to go to, and there's one coming up in September or October, and put on by 2 different gentlemen, both of whom I know, both of whom are very good with information and with, oh God, yes it does. Preaching to the choir, dear. And so, and they're both of the events are in Florida. I don't do well in Florida. My body does not like Florida heat or humidity, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, because I really wanted to be there. Anyway, to change my text messages. Lovely. I've got one of those too. That's why I changed devices. It's been hell on me too. I knew that was going to come up. Oh my God, Para. Tell her I said hello. Anyway, I hope you guys and gals and whatever you identify as, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. Or for those who are in Australia, a wonderful Saturday. Depending upon where you're located. Either way, I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you have a good day. Oh, I know that one very well. Yeah, you and I could probably have some very interesting conversations about being vibrationally high. Yeah, it's good meeting you too, dear. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Anyway, I was trying to think of anything last that I can that I could pop in, and I can't think of anything at this second. Yeah, I am too. You and I probably know the same entities, the same beings, the same councils. Anyway, yeah, I agree, Para. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Ruby. Oh my God. Let's see if I can find it right now. Tracy. There we go. I have to remember that, Tracy. I'll remember that. Anyhow, have a good weekend, folks. Take very good care. I'm not sure when I'm going to be on next. It's kind of a crapshoot with me right now. That will get better eventually. Give me a little bit more time. At least I am doing lives. And between a friend and the other side, I'm getting pushed to do more. They brought me here. Yeah, there's a reason. There's a very good reason they brought you here. Anyhow, take very good care, folks. And remember, not everything is as it seems. Be aware, stay alert, head on a swivel. Bye, guys. Take care. E.T., E.R.T., I think. Bonjour, madam. Well, I'm sorry, you're coming in at the end, hun. But I'm literally, I've been doing this for almost 3.5 hours. So, hi. So I'm going to say goodnight. Bye, guys. On that note, and that last comment needs to go away. Anyhow, take very good care, folks. Bye. Okay, I gotta find this silly button again. Okay, where the heck is... Oh, there it is. All right, bye. It's been a while since I've done this.